How's it going? Welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna take a look at this Alibaba special stealth bomber style bike. So we'll get into the specs, talk about whether it's worth it or not. So let's just get into it. Okay, so I've actually been riding this around a lot more before filming than I usually would on a bike because I've never had one of these before, and I kind of wanted to get adjusted to it because I've ridden a lot of center drive motors, Sur-Ron type stuff, you know, and these bikes are actually a lot different. So the powertrain is, it's got a QS 273 2.5 motor. So the 2.5 T at the end, the higher the T, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, the higher the torque and the lower the top speed. So the lower the T, the higher top speed and lower torque, right? So this is a relatively low torque, high top speed bike. So it's got a 72 volt, 75 amp hour battery, 150 amps nominal, 300 peak, and it's got a 270 amp far driver controller. Let's see how fast we can get it in this little space here. It is really windy today. Now the acceleration, it's not going to blow your head off. You know, it's not super fast. It definitely will keep up a traffic off the line, but it's, you know, you're not going to be racing at anything like that. So it's kind of a more practical type of bike. You can see this thing is very fast. 66 miles an hour, looks like 67. Running a space here. I probably could have got that up close to 70 miles an hour, I think. But that was scary enough for me. I'm going to call it there. Yeah. Especially with the brakes this thing has on it. But dude, this thing is fast. Hey guys, before we go any further, please take a second, please, to hit that subscribe button. Support my channel. I spend a lot of money and invest a lot of time and money into my channel, you know, and I'd appreciate the support. If you like my content, please just hit that subscribe button, comment and like, and watch to the end. I'm trying to make it to 10,000 subscribers. You can help me with that. Thanks in advance. So I'll put the type of battery cells on the screen right here. I don't know what brand they are. Most likely a generic brand, considering the price I paid for this, which is $3,000 shipped, delivered. So it's $3,000 for a 20 kilowatt bike with a 72 volt, 75 amp hour battery capable of going 70 miles an hour. That is a pretty damn ridiculous deal if you ask me. Now there are some major issues with the bike, for sure, and we'll get into that. But first let's go over to my normal hill test site and see if this thing can climb that hill. I'm kind of doubting it, you know, just from feeling how the acceleration feels. I'm not sure it's going to be able to get up the hill throttle only. But while we're going there, let's talk about some of the weird wonky things about it. The first thing is this screen. It's like, what the hell is this thing? You know, it's kind of got this analog speedo that's already broke, the needle's stuck on it. And then it does have a good amount of information on it as far as voltage, battery percentage, speed, and stuff like that. But it's so light you can't even see it really when you're riding. You have to kind of put your hand over it to see it. But it's functional, I guess. It does have kind of like a dinky kickstand for this size of bike. It's probably well over 200 pounds. That motor is really heavy, and that battery is huge. It barely fit in the frame there. You can imagine 72 volts, 75 amp hours. I'll put the watt hours up right here. It's a massive battery. So with this kind of bike, being the low torque and having a direct drive motor, the QS 273 2.5 T, you're probably looking at an insane amount of range. This thing, I'm guessing, depending on how you ride it, you could probably get 100 miles out of a charge on it. But we'll do a range test in a separate video. Another kind of thing I don't really like about it is the seat is not comfortable at all. You can see I have this extra pad on there because it sucks. You can't go aftermarket and buy, you know, aftermarket seat. You're only paying $3,000 for this out the door. You know, for the drivetrain, it's actually pretty good deal. It's a really good deal. So as far as suspension, it's got the KKE front forks, which are only partially adjustable, and then a fully adjustable rear shock there. All right, so you can see off the line on a green light, yeah, we left those cars behind. It accelerates fine. Like I said, it's not very thrilling. It does have turn signals and a front headlight. Here's what the headlight looks like at night. All right, and here's what the headlight looks like at night. Actually, very good. Very decent spread. It almost lights up my whole backyard. So yeah, that's actually a really good headlight. Cool. There's the running light and turn signal. Alright, this is where I usually test the hill climb, because there's not very many hills in Houston, so can't be choosy. But I know this thing has full suspension, and it's got like sort of these off-roady, dual sporty type tires, but this thing is not meant for going off-road. Not at all. This is a street machine. You're not going to want to use this off-road. It doesn't have the torque for one, and it's just the way that rear motor feels. It's really heavy on the back end. Maneuvering, if you need to be agile, you're not going to want this bike. That being said, this is a fantastic street machine. It's great for commuting, any kind of street riding, so it's just not really that great for off-road. But it's handling this kind of thing just fine, all right, so here we go. So we got this little path. This is a very steep hill, but I've had other bikes, 48 volt bikes with hub motors get up it just fine. There's no power modes on this that I can tell. There's like this little switch here. I don't really feel any difference in power modes from one state to the other, so I don't know what the hell that is. But let's just push it in and assume it's sport and see if we can get up this hill here from a stop. So I'll just full throttle it. All right. Okay, you know what? I was expecting it to fail. Not bad at all. Wow, that was very surprising. I was literally, just from how it takes off, the acceleration, I was expecting it not to be able to get up that hill, but it did just fine. So, I mean, that hill is pretty steep, and it's about 40 feet, so you won't have any issues climbing hills. So that's great news. I was thinking it was going to fail miserably. Cool. Now, one thing that really sucks, and we'll go test them out right here. Let's go up into like my neighborhood street. But one of the horrible things about the bike is the brakes. I mean, it's got 203 millimeter rotors, but it's got these dinky ass Tektro, whatever, dual piston little brakes. This bike weighs over 200 pounds and it goes 70 miles an hour. For this bike, those brakes are dog shit. Terrible. Irresponsible. Not good at all in any way, shape, or form. They suck. Am I clear? But again, you're getting this thing for $3,000, right? Off Alibaba. You can get a really good set of 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes from AliExpress for $100, right? So it's actually a fairly cheap upgrade. They should fit. They should mount right on. A lot of them, some of them come with spacers that you can try out, but I'm pretty sure like your standard brakes that you would get from a Suron or something like that should work on this. So even though the brakes are absolutely terrible, it's really not that big of a deal because you could just, upgrade them for fairly cheap. Did I mention they have mineral oil? It's not even DOT. It's like, what the heck? On a bike like this? Why? Yeah, I don't know. So like on the acceleration, like off the line, it's it's not great. It's plenty powerful enough. It's sufficient. You can beat cars off the line, but you feel that power come on. Sort of higher in the rev range. So like right now when I hit it, I can it pulls decent. So you're not like, it doesn't feel weak. But these hub motors are a lot, especially the direct drive hub motors are a lot different than the center drive motors. They just don't have that torque. Now, you can get a high torque version of it, like if you wanted to get the QS273 5T, those are going to be a lot torqueier than this one, right? They're going to have a lot better acceleration, but they're not going to have nearly as high of a top speed. So I guess the difference between them is similar to like a sprocket size on a center drive bike. The smaller the sprocket, the faster it'll go top speed, but the slower it's going to take off. You move into those bigger sprocket sizes, it's going to take off much faster and have way more torque, but it's not going to have as high top speed. So you gotta kind of pick what you want. This one comes with the 2.5T, which is I like it, but I think I might go with a higher T one. Yeah, so that braking right there was just not confidence expiring at all. That was pretty terrible. They just don't have the bite and stopping power. You can feel the bike just keep going, but much further than you would expect, you know. But let's just get up to like 30 miles an hour or something, and then hit the brakes. Yeah, there's a red fire hydrant coming up here pretty quick. We'll hit it then. It feels like we're going faster than 3 miles an hour. Yeah, they wouldn't even lock up. I got them all the way in as hard as I can do it, and it just kept rolling. It couldn't even lock up the wheels. Look at that. At 30 miles an hour, see how far away that thing is? These brakes are terrible. Look at them. Okay, enough about the brakes. So it does have like turn signals. You can see this little cluster here. Here's how the horn sounds. Really loud horn, so plenty sufficient for communicating your existence. Another thing that I would change, and it's just like getting into personal preference. So far the brakes are an absolute must change. Everything else is actually good. You know, I'm a
very big fat person,
so I tend to need cushier seats because I got a lot more pressure on that seat. So I would definitely upgrade this seat. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of companies out there that make aftermarket seats for these things, or you could probably, you know, send it in somewhere to have a better seat made. So the cool thing about this is it came with both this sort of MX style seat, and it came with this bike seat. You can see here. I mean, I chose this one just because I like the style a little better than the bicycle seat one. But I mean, the seat that came with it's not very comfortable either for the bicycle one, so you'd have to upgrade that. But that would probably be a lot easier and cheaper upgrade than getting, you know, something, you know, like this. For one of these, if you're getting an aftermarket one, it's probably going to cost you like $200 or something. I don't know. So it came in like 5 boxes. Like you had to put the forks on, the front tire, it came with the seat, bicycle seat installed. So that's fine. If you want that one, you have to change it out. Besides that, it was pretty straightforward. Oh yeah, so one of the other things besides the seat that I would change are these handlebars. You know, I might put a direct mount on here and get riser bars. I'm leaning a little bit far forward, and the pedals kind of come up a little bit high. So I might definitely get like a 3-inch riser bar or something like that to make it more comfortable. But again, that's totally personal preference kind of thing. I really like these tires, and because they got like kind of the dual sport style. I think they call them turtle tires. You know, I usually upgrade my bikes to the Shinko 241s, but there's really no reason to upgrade on this one. It feels just fine. There's a lot of traction, you know, for street, and it got these really nice 19-inch wheels, front and back. I like that. And you know, me personally, I think I would rather have pegs than these pedals. But I don't know a lot about these bikes. Are there an option to take these pedals off and actually change them out to pegs? Let me know in the comments if you know that, because I would rather have pegs. I don't care about these pedals. It is kind of nice that you have pedals, so if you see a cop or something like that, you can pedal. I mean, they'd have to be a pretty stupid cop to think that this thing's legal. You know, they're smarter than that, but I mean, I don't know. If they don't want to hassle you, you know, and they can just say, okay, yeah, you got pedals, so that's whatever. I did kind of put it on wrong. I should have put these wires through the center there, but it doesn't hurt anything. So anyways, my conclusion, overall impression of this thing is this one hell of a deal for $3,000, a 70 mile an hour bike. Maybe it can go even faster. I don't know. I got 70 miles an hour and I'm a fat guy, so that's pretty good. Well, I got 67. You know what I mean? It would have kept it going a little bit. I think more up to 70. The only real issue again is the brakes. You spend $100 on those brakes, and if you don't mind, you know, kind of a firm seat, you're freaking good to go. It has a 5-amp charger, what, you know, could be better, you know, but again, you can upgrade that easily. You can buy a different charger if you want. Get a 10 amp charger. What do you guys think? $3,000 for this thing? You know, I'll put a link in the description for the Alibaba listing I got it from. I mean, this is the top tier one they had. They have a bunch of different options, 8 kilowatts, 12, 15, whatever. So I got the most powerful one, 20 kilowatts with the largest battery, 72 volt, 75 amp hour battery, you know. So there's a lot of different options. You can get them even cheaper than that. You can get them down to like $2,500, you know what I mean? So yeah, the next video on this is going to be a full range test, which is I'm not looking forward to because that's going to take forever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.